Hi. We are live. We are live. We have 18 out of 20 quests in our log. And Path is not online. Holy cow. Fuck! I wanted to say hi to Chuck. Damn it! Hold on. Gotta... I know Path is live. Was live. I don't know if he still is. No! He ended a minute ago. Maybe that's why Chuck got off. Because I know they're doing stuff together. I was gonna say hi! I was gonna say hi! Damn it. Oh well. No potion today, I suppose. I think we just vendor the map fragment. I don't plan on going back to Tanaris for that. Canaris if you're an insane person. I'm like weird about having the same amount of food, but we have a lot of bag space, actually. But, like, I'm weird about like having all of my food in my. Excuse me. Blech. I can't. Oh, that's funny. Kyla just. She liked the Shadow Sky, my comment on Shadow Sky's post, therefore I'm famous now. No, I'm weird about having the same type of food as much as possible in my inventory. But I think we can make the exception right now, because we still have... Because usually I'd just vendor these and turn a really bad profit, but I think we can just... Please, please, please. I don't want to miss this. I don't want to miss this. I don't want to miss this boat. If I miss this boat, I have to swim, and I don't want to swim. We're fine. Boom. Alright. I don't know. Is that like an OCD thing or an ADD thing? I think I have undiagnosed ADD. I don't know what it is, but it certainly is something. Alright. 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 Right. That's like my catchphrase. Alright. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that being my catchphrase. Now what I need to do is pick up this next quest. Fuel for the zapping. That's gotta be the other one. Okay. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. And that's all the way up and down, yeah, okay. I'm excited though. I am excited to play my favorite game. How's the camera? Probably horrible. Hold on, let's fix that right now. Get into auto attacks. That was loud. There we go. Cool. Good enough. Thank you. I'm trying to confirm that for myself here. What's the actual range of this item? About yay far? Okay. So Pico, I saw you playing Holodori today. Playing Pokejon, or was that not you? I'm pretty sure that was you, right? Oh, there's two Picos. I thought you had an alt account. My bad. Those are very similar names. I can't tell if you're trolling me or not. If you are, then consider me actually trolled because I believe you. And if you're not, then consider me honest Andy, because I still believe you. It could be that you're both named after something called Pico. You know, it's like if somebody else wanted to name themselves Image, then it might cause confusion. My quest guide is telling me that I should skip these quests, but I am okay doing low-level quests. You know? You're correct, I will. Think about it. If everybody was jumping off a bridge, then they probably have good reason to jump off a bridge, because most people don't actually want to just, like, randomly jump off a bridge. So I would too, because I would assume everyone else is doing it for a good reason. Did you, did you see that animation the Shore Strider did? That was a little gross. No, I saw you. It was like she only barely won at the end, or lost at the end because Shadow like finally picked up, but everybody was like at triple-digit points, and she and Shadow were fighting in the thousands. That was funny. heal after that last one. Ah! Die. Let's eat some wolf steak. I'm hungry for wolf steak. I don't know. The part I hate the most when making a video is thinking about making a good thumbnail. Dude! Dude! That's my favorite part. Check this out. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. You didn't see anything. You didn't see anything. Okay, here we go. Dude, that's my favorite part. Look at this. Look at this, dude. Why is it on this screen? Ah. Look at this thumbnail. Is this not a beautiful thumbnail? I'm so good at thumbnails. Look, there's that one. And then we have, oh, what's another good one? Here's one. How about... Stop opening on my second monitor, you fuck! This one. It's Bibu Malphite from League of Legends. Or we have, how about the Pumascape ones? I've got two of these. We have, Pumascape, obviously. You know, the good one here with my little Pumala that I made in the Pumala Maker. And then when it became a fishing game, and I just got a lot of fish on screen. I'm not actually a big fan of the thumbnail making process, but I try to cook when possible. You think this streamer's... I appreciate that. Here. Chad Trox, the Chad Atrox versus the Timo B. Where's, or like back when I was playing Hearthstone, we have this one. It made sense if you were there. How about this one? This is one of my favorites. This is, I think, one of my favorite thumbnails I've ever made. The Comic Sans Wide Kyla. It's perfect. I don't think there's anything that can top that ever. Or how about the time that I made memes? This is back when she hadn't streamed in 2 months. So we have the Lord of the Rings scene. Kyla Doko. Kyla is never Doko Pamala, nor is she Coco. She streams precisely when she means to. I forget what this one was. Oh, this one's... normal. Boring. Oh, how about this one? This one is funnier in retrospect. She will never be cute, and then it's just the same picture! This one was so long ago. I wish more people have seen this one. This is so long ago that she was still in the Holo Cafe profile picture. She says, Pamala, I don't like veggies. Meanwhile, Kyla, veggie for you. Pamala, veggie's biggest fan. I don't know why we just had a showcase of random shit that I've made. It's just so absurd. Veggie's biggest fan? What the hell does that mean? So you see every time I hit an ability, how most of the abilities on my action bar get this little cooldown timer on them. You say they kind of go in a circle, like I press Bloodthirst, boom, and then they all go around the circle. In retail, this is called the global cooldown. It's sort of like a way to just not spam abilities. In retail, the global cooldown is a lot shorter. So sometimes... Thank you, I just burned away your blast brain, Phil. Thank you, or you're welcome. I think... Personally, I think for your next thumbnail, you should just use Veggie's biggest fan, Pomalo, where it's just a guy with a broccoli head saying that he's Veggie's biggest fan, and then you just have the Kyla tweet there. I think that should be your next thumbnail. Like, no matter the context of the video, I think you should just literally have that. Also, you're calling me Anwi now too. I don't exactly know how that started, but here we are. Is that like a nickname for people named Andrew in Indonesia? Because over here it's either Andy or like Drew, and nobody has ever called me Drew. But my family calls me Andy. You're just copying back again? Okay. I don't know why he started saying that. No shade. I think it's funny. I just didn't know. Still don't know. Man, look at me one-shot that guy. He's dead now. Just copy Velsk. Aww. You don't need to copy him. I'm so much better. At least 20 times better. Right? Come on. Come on. Come on. At Grok, is this true? Yeah, I'm actually a great content creator. I'm objectively the greatest content creator. In Pomalo, at least, you know. Including Kyla. I'm like, you know, we have like Kyla here, then we have like all the Clippers, then we have Shadow Sky, then we have you, obviously, on top of all the other Clippers and Shadow Sky, and then like way up there, like 12,000 feet in the air. That's where I am, you know, in terms of like quality, professional quality. What are you clipping this time? Are you clipping Shadow's stream again? Yep. Who? Okay. Oh. Side note, you ever notice when somebody with quote unquote pre-debut in their name like randomly follows you and starts liking all of your posts related to like Kyla? And you're like, I don't want to be rude, but look, that idle animation. Like scroll back, go back 30 seconds and watch that guy with the X over his head. His idle animation, he farts, but because he's a water creature, the fart comes out as a bubble, and then it pops near his face, and then he smells it, and it's gross, and he says, "Pu." That's a real idle animation in this game. That is so funny to me. Look at this tiny little guy. Health potion. I don't need to eat as long because I have a spirit buff going on right now. Zap. Oh. My mistake. Ah! So I am flying to Ratchet, so I should do this this quest. Kyla. Yeah, I've been retweeting them. They're obviously fake, right? But they're transparent about that. It's in the video. They're using practice tool. They're like skipping to level 18 and full jungle item. They got down to 2 seconds, I think, and it involved slowdowns and switching to Jin, who then places a million traps and then clears everything in 2 seconds. Oh, wait. Okay, I can do it in combat. Cool. That was a little scary. Nice. But also, Malphite does have a really fast clear anyway. I think it's like 240 something. I could be wrong. But you want to get 255 so that you can, or rather, you want to be at Scuttle Crab by 255, so anything less than 250 red side or 255... No, sorry, 250 starting blue side going to red, or 255 starting red side going to blue is actually bad. No, like, they're obviously fake, but you don't have to... You don't have to keep trolling me, come on. It's like he'll use the teleportation glitch to get... Or not glitch... The teleportation feature on the practice tool. I've done that before, like just for fun, but I didn't get it down to 2 seconds, you know. It does take some creativity, but it's like a creativity speedrun. It's not like a execution speedrun. It's like they slow the game down as much as possible, and then they plant a million Jin traps. Or Shaco traps or something with auto-refresh cooldowns. And buy a bunch of items so it does a lot of damage. Good gaming chair. Yeah, that'll do it. Ow. Hold on. It was digging into my tummy. Is this entertaining? We're just watching me kill shit over and over again. I'm sorry. That's what Warcraft's all about, my guys. Guys and gals and whatever the heck we call Kyla. Wait, no, she's obviously a girl. Obviously. You can tell because... I'm not allowed to say why. Because she's... cute. I said it. 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 I can't take it back. Don't worry, my background noise. Okay. Wow, you don't like my content? You don't want to just only watch me killing things over and over again? Wow. You must hate me. Wow. Haha. No drop frames, okay. There we go. We finished the quest. The 2 quests. We finished them. A little too far. Do I grind a lot, or have I been able to keep questing with green mobs? Yes and no. Both. I don't know why I said yes and no. Both. Early on, I would... So, like, after I over-leveled DM, I was, like, firmly level 20 or so. I just kept running DM, like, once a day, every day. That was back when the Race Lock Challenge was active. So there were a lot of people online. But I just made sure to do DM, and if I could, a Wailing Caverns every day. Hold on. How good is this? It's better than my main hand. No, not that. And this is self-found, so I have had a couple of just, like, grinding sessions. For example, I got the Dark Whelpling because I sat down and, like, actually grinded it. At the same time, I was also getting flame sacks so I can make Dragon Breath Chili, which I don't often use because I've run out of flame sacks. I've got a ton of mystery meat stockpiled, though, so I might do another flame sack grind if I can find one that's relatively close by. We're going to close RXP. if I see a green quest that's easy, I'll do it as well. So, for example, I just got the OOX for this zone. I don't need to do it. I'm over leveled, but I'm gonna go do it anyway because why not? I've got retail coming up. When I was on my hunter, I did the opposite. I was doing orange quests. I was doing elite quests solo, and it was fine. That's because hunter is genuinely overpowered. If you're a mage and you're not AoE grinding, you can also probably do orange quests and elite quests. And maybe paladin, but paladins will take a long time doing those, so you're probably losing XP per hour if you care about XP per hour. I kind of don't. I do want to try to get to 60 though, and I'm pretty damn close, so you know that's something. So, like, yes, I grind, but I haven't been grinding because I need experience. I've been grinding because I need things like flame sacks, you know. But it just so happens that turns a lot of my quests green. So it's a win-win. And like I said, when I'm over leveled, so like for example, I'm over the level of Zul'Farrak, but I'm planning on doing it with Patholyrix before he goes on his trip. He's another streamer, like an actual streamer, not me. I have 2 people. But he's like an actual streamer, and he wanted to do Zul'Farrak before he went on a trip. And he was going to do it on Tuesday, but his internet was acting up. So if he does do it before the trip, I plan on tanking for it, but you'll notice Zul'Farrak is like a level 49 maximum dungeon, and I'm already level 53, so it's like... Especially if you're tanking, make sure you're higher level than the dungeon and only doing green dungeons, but I'm going to have a lot of experience banked after that. But I'm not going to lie, I've played a lot of hardcore. Warrior has been so much more difficult than literally every other class, like, by a mile. You don't have any escape tools except for, like, Intimidating Shout, and the AoE fear just flat out doesn't work on things like elementals or undead. He was very patient. Your warrior's in their mid-40s. Yeah, especially after level... Like, okay, so every class after 30 shouldn't ever die. But that means... In fact, I think technically every class just shouldn't die, like, flat out. But it means, like, a certain mindset that gets you to that point where you don't die, right? And that includes being willing to grind, and because every choice that you... Or, sorry, every character that died because the player made a choice to, like, do something or not pay attention, or even just, like, go do a quest that's slightly risky, you know? And that is technically a mistake that you made, and... How many warriors I've been through? Dude, like a dozen. Most of them died in fact, most characters in general die in the 1 to 20 range. And that's because once you get to about level 20, you start getting your like, actual tools, and not just, like, your basic combat. So, for example, hunters, I don't remember exactly when, but once they get feigned death, they are unkillable. If you die on a hunter like I did, anything later than like 20, you fucked up. Like, just flat out, nothing against you as a person, but you did. Same thing with, like, a paladin, same thing with a rogue, because vanish is really hard to resist. Yeah. Love the persistence. I mean, to be fair, level 20 is, like, a day worth of playing, and when I get done with that day and because I die, then I say, oh, well, I guess I just start again, you know? The difference is... You know, I had a level 58 hunter that died with, like, 10 days in-game played time, and I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm not playing hunter again. Technically speaking, I mean, I'm not the expert. I've never hit 60 on hardcore. I can't talk like I'm holier than thou and saying, like, if you die, it's your fault. But, like, I do believe every single time that I've died on every single character I've made, it was my fault. If I die doing OX whatever, it's because I wasn't, like, this is a risky quest. We are going to get attacked by a bunch of gnolls, you know? So if I die doing it, like, that's my fault. But I think on the other side of things, the highest risk class is warrior, which means that if you don't want to spend hundreds of days just grinding mobs, you know? Because mob grinding kind of plateaus around the mid-30s, and after that you kind of need to just do quests anyway. So if I don't make it to... What was I saying? Sorry, for some reason I'm focusing on microing this enraged feral scar. If I don't make it to 60, like, yes, I still firmly believe that it's because I made a mistake, but, you know, there are things that might otherwise be, like, 70% plays or 80% plays. Like, for example, this quest, I'm pretty sure is, like, 98% safe. It's a green, escort quest, and escort quests are kind of safe if you treat them like a pet that can take aggro, that you just also try not to let it die. But they're also pretty risky because they tend to summon multiple mobs at a time because you're doing an escort quest, right? And sometimes you don't have time to, like, sit down and eat before it gets under attack again, so you have to, like, let it take some damage, which, you know, risks it dying. But the mistake I would have to make is not properly using my retaliation, but there's still, like, a 2% chance, right? That I just keep missing my attacks, and that they all, you know, resist my intimidating shout if I use it, and, like, there is that chance that can happen. And every time I've gotten close to dying on this character, it was generally because I'm, like, not because I'm taking a risk, but because I'm, like, reaching a risk that was unintended. Yeah, like, I don't have retaliation anymore. And that's just inherently risky. But he can tank some damage there while I just sit and do this for some reason. Cool. There's also the risk that, like, now I'm drunk. Like, one of my trinkets has the downside of getting you drunk, and you'd think that's not a risk, except it makes every mob, like, I think tipsy is the most dangerous stage of drunkenness in this game. And this flask, you know, only gets you tipsy, so that's already bad. But that's because sometimes you forget that you're drunk, because the, like, wobbly effect is so minimal. I think there's, like, no blur, and for certain, like, unless you're really looking, you can't tell that I'm kind of waving back and forth a little bit as I run here. But more importantly, the drunkenness makes the level of enemy mobs appear one level lower. It's like a gameplay representation of confidence. Or overconfidence, I should say. So there is a very real risk that I can't tell I'm drunk still, because, you know, I'm only barely tipsy. I'm only barely moving here. But then I click on a mob and it's level 45 when it's actually 46, and that could be, you know, actually risky. Especially if the mob is like, you know, level 49, but it's actually level 50. Or, you know, something closer to me. I don't have potions. I have a Dragon Breath Chili. I'm gonna run up ahead just a little bit and get some tender wolf steak in my character's tummy. Get some stamina buff. Here are the apes. Here we go, let them attack the guy first. And I can take them, I guess, 2 at a time. Pull them back here so I can whirlwind. Don't want to waste the bloodthirst on the first guy and just auto him down. Second guy, we can whirlwind now. Third guy. Eat food instead of bandage. Because up here we're going to get into a combat where I might have to in-shot bandage. Band-aid. I can't skin them, that's sad. There's a really weird interaction between Dragon Breath Chili and just eating in general, where if you eat, it cleanses the effect of Dragon Breath Chili, so if you want the effect of Dragon Breath Chili, you just can't eat for 10 minutes. Of course, we are in a situation right now. This server, yeah, I'm planning on switching back to my main faction, Horde, after... Oh, they just passed right by him. Okay. Wow. I just wasted a chili. That's funny. Let's see if that happens again, though. Are they targeting him, or are they just... Yeah, they are. Okay. But yeah, this server is, not Doomhowl. Doomhowl's pretty active. That's the active one, right? I don't remember. It starts with a D. Okay, I didn't need the chili, but I'm glad I used it, because I wanted to be safe anyway. But this server is pretty dead. It's the one that they did race locked on. And it died kind of because it was the race lock server, and then Defias Pillar. No, hold on. After I'm done with this quest, let me just make sure that it's done. Yeah, okay. Give me a second. I don't want to necessarily dox my characters. Yeah, current servers. Let's get the name. Am I on full camera? Yeah, okay. Let's also check on connection stat. Yeah, no drop frames. We're doing good. Good, 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 good. Okay, here we go. Skull Rock is the one that I'm on, and yeah, it's pretty dead. The hardcore that's more active is... Let me double check that it is Doomhowl, but I'm double checking that that's the one that I was on. Yeah, it's Doomhowl. So Doomhowl is the active one, the other two are kind of whatever. It's Skull Rock that they were doing race locked on, but again, like, the problem with the, like, race locked meme is that it was a community run event run by, like, streamers, and the streamers are, like, very obviously chasing trends. So the guy in charge of the human guild just kind of left a month and a half ago. So I'm not going to ever raid. I'm not doing race locked anymore. Like, I just dropped that. But, like, I kind of expect that I'm just never going to get to raid on this character. Which is fine. It's whatever. I did find out that the dwarves were kind of active up to, like, a month ago. And they did, Molten Core, and they beat it, and it was cool. And I think the gnomes beat a couple bosses, and the Tauren, like, wiped on Ragnaros or something. So that's kind of cool as well, but at the end of the day, like, the race lock challenge is pretty dead. You might see some Stone Core people, but most of them are just back on regular guilds doing whatever. And like I said, I'm going to get this character, like, geared if I can, like, see if I can do some UBRS, but after that, it's probably just going to be, me going through, I forgot about this upgrade this whole time. Yeah. I don't know, the strength is good, and it's the same damage. Different DPS, though. I think that I'll just take that. I might as well. But, like, I'll do Maradon and get Thrashblade, and I'll do, like, UBRS and see if I can get Fell Striker or, like, BRD and get Iron Foe. And then I'll be fine enough to, like, do whatever. But if you want to play on an active one, go to, I guess it was, I forgot what I said, if it was Doomhauer Device Pillager. You can scroll back. Yeah, I don't know streamers. I know Patholerics because of Goldbound, you know? And he's not, like, a big-ass streamer. He's just kind of more a content creator who streams, you know? As opposed to, like, a streamer. So, yeah. Oh, we're doing this first, I guess. My bad. Skip this step entirely if you are level 53 or above. Eat my shorts. Although you might know, so I remember Herod was planning on reviving OnlyFangs for TBC Hardcore. Did they ever do that, or is that, like, dead? Yeah, they did race locks. They had a race lock guild for everyone, but, like, Elfcore is only active because people are, like, honestly role-playing. Like, not really, but they are. Like, I've played on Moonguard back when I was, like, 13 or 14. I know what role-playing looks like. Not that kind, obviously, but... like, I've joined big group role plays where we went to empty Gilneas and we role played a Gilneas role play. Like, I've done that, but I think they're just mostly, like, playing for fun. They don't really have any raid plans. Not that you know of. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about the fact that Herod was, like, he had a tentative teaser, and he fully admitted that it might not actually happen. But he likes World of Warcraft, and he was talking about that, and so he had, like, this tentative teaser where he pretended... I'm sure this didn't actually happen, but, like, he pretended that, you know, said to Tyler 1, you know, this other guy, I don't remember who the other guy was, but, like, this other guy said that you can't, that you're, like, too wussy to do TBC Hardcore OnlyFangs. And then he said to the other guy, yeah, Tyler 1 called you a wuss back. And he says, what do you mean back? You know what I mean? Like, where you're playing both sides. But that was just like a tentative teaser. I don't think they're actually doing it, honestly. I'm also not a fan of TBC Hardcore, like, as a concept. I'm a vanilla guy. I've ranted about that for hours and hours to, like, one viewer. I'm not a fan of replacing content. I think that daily chores replacing content and just in general, like, making the new thing the only thing that matters is, like, bad game design for an MMO. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. As far as I can tell, nowadays on Moonguard, people kind of only roleplay in the cities, and if you're out in the world, it's just regular questing or whatever. But they used to have these, like, big scheduled 40-man raid. Like, not scheduled is a strong word. But somebody will say, I want to run a Gilneas RP, and I think I've started a few. Not even I think. I know I've started a few when I was a kid. And it was really just as easy as gathering people together saying, okay, here are your roles, play whatever you want, and then, now go to XYZ places, and then it kind of split up into, like, 5 different, separate storylines going on at once. And then just, like, randomly some dude would, you know, while you're role-playing as the king with your queen, you know, talking about taxes or whatever, some dude would just kick in the door, and, yeah, and then you'd get trolls, and it was a fun time. The trolls were the best, because they'd come in, and you have to, like, question to yourself, do I have to take this person seriously right now? Like, this dude comes in and he's pretending, like, he's got the toy to have, like, an ogre model. So do I have to pretend that he's an ogre claiming that he's the greatest chef in the world? Like, how would I respond to that? Oh, that sucks. I can't skin this guy because... Wait, yes I can. Oh, I'm a genius. Hold on. Let me kill this first. Nowadays, if I want to roleplay, I just play Dungeons & Dragons. I'm the forever DM, though, so it's kind of hard. I have to roleplay a bunch of characters I don't care about because they fit my story. Hold on. There we go. Yeah. Adventures for Scarab Lord? Also no. I really don't watch a lot of vanilla content creation that's like gameplay. I watch Patholerics because I'm on the same server as him and I'm in the same guild as him, you know, that's him right there. I didn't even know this person was... Oh, this person... I have guild chat off on my general tab. I didn't see that somebody was messaging me earlier. Oops. But the answer is no, the server's not active and the guild's not active. But no, I don't watch a lot of hardcore or even just like classic gameplay in general. I don't even really technically watch vanilla, or not vanilla, retail gameplay. I watch, like, Patholerics' Goldbound, and that's about it. I sound like a big Patholerics stan, but... I mean, he's a good content creator. I do recommend him to everybody who likes Warcraft. Storytelling and very... Okay. I mean, even then, like, storytelling about gameplay, I'm like, I don't really care as much. I like hearing about individual experiences, but, like... At 4 o'clock, okay. Apparently I have to, not go, but I do have to... No, Sod tickled my brain like crazy, I just don't want to go back to it. It's not quite the classic plus people want, you know? It's very, modernized. The way I see it, we have 5 different versions of the game, and aside from hardcore, every single one of them became like endgame raid log and daily simulator, you know? And after you're done with your dailies, after you're done with your raid logs for the week, like, you just don't have anything to do, so just move on, like, what, to a different game? Grind gold? Like, that's not, like, what Classic ever was for me as a kid. It's not what it is for me as an adult. And so I loved SOD, and I did actually, like, for a raid log simulating game, like, SOD was one of the better ones, but also, like, really? Do we have to have another version of Warcraft where they just only make raids and they only make content for level 60? And even if they don't make content below level 60, like, at least make it more interesting than just another raid to do, and another, you know, high-level dungeon that's essentially a mythic dungeon, right? even as much as I love Karazhan Crypts and everything up through Scarlet Enclave, like, I don't want to do that as the only content. I want, I want rep grinds, but I want them to matter. I want, like, the reputation that I grind now to matter 3 patches down the line. I don't want you to introduce a new reputation just for me to grind them and then have them be obsolete. And what I really hate, is, like, especially hate about MMO design in general that started technically with Warcraft is when, like I said, replacing content I think is just objectively bad MMO design. And that's why, as much as I love Burning Crusade and I have tons of nostalgia for it, I kind of hate it. I kind of hate that it started the trend of you're not going back to the old world content ever again. Like, yeah, you go back to the old world, technically. One of the raids is in Deadwind Pass, but you know what I mean. You don't go back to the old world content. Yeah, exactly. That's the big, like, talking point term, but I feel like explaining it is... Do I have quests in my quest log? Or enough space in my quest log? I do. That's like the big talking point term, but I'm also like wary of not explaining it because I don't want people to think that I'm like... You know those people who, whether or not you agree with them, they just like say something like late stage capitalism, but they don't know what it means, and you're like, okay, explain it to me, and they don't. Like, I'm not complaining about like those people's point of views, obviously, but I am complaining about the fact that they clearly don't know what they're talking about and they're just using big words to sound photosynthesis, you know? Any anticipation though? Like, they're absolutely announcing it. If not this year, then 100% next year. Like, that's not like superstition. That's not like speculation. That's the word I'm looking for. That's not speculation to say that they are, doing something extra with vanilla, or at least with classic. The hints aren't hints. Like, Holly Longdale getting pulled aside at the end of the This Year in WoW video it's not a hint, Josh Greenfield, or whatever the hell his name is, saying, like, we are absolutely getting something is not a hint. It is real. It is genuine. So I can't for the life of me ever say, like, this is like, still speculation, it's possible to not happen. No, it is happening 100%. Like, let's be honest here. What I want from it, though, I don't know if Blizzard can provide. I'm not a fan of private servers because they don't own the IP, and I think that that's still copyright theft. And I think that if they are going to do, something, like, if they're going to say, we can make Warcraft but better, then go make Warcraft but better. You don't need to literally take Warcraft and try to make it better. I'm vehemently against just, like, theft in general. Especially since the version of Warcraft that we're talking about, this version right here, was made by people who had a genuine love and passion for Azeroth and the world and whatever, and, like, stealing from there just feels especially wrong to me. From them, I should say, not from there. But if Blizzard can deliver what I, like, the only thing I really want is for the world to feel like a world. I don't care how they do that, but that means that they can't only focus on new raids. That means that they have to put in more things like Vendor Strike and, like, useless trinkets and whatever else. That means that things have to be janky, and there might be entire patches or, like, years where we have, randomly feral druids become insanely overpowered. I think one thing they can especially take from old school RuneScape is the idea of, yes, I'm going to say horizontal progression, but what I mean in this case is, like, for gear. Twisted Bow came out a few years ago, but it's still better than any other ranged weapon they've come out with since. Same with, I'm not exactly well-versed on RuneScape, but, like, best in slot items came out up to, like, more than a decade ago. And that means that, like, the stuff that your character has remains relevant for a while. So I feel like the world stops feeling like a world when it starts feeling like every... Oh, I can kill these guys for flame sacks. Nice. The world stops feeling like a world when it starts feeling like a chore simulator, a raid log simulator, and the new expansion zone came out, and now everything that you used to do didn't matter anymore. You know, the whole meme of replacing all of your tier 3 raid gear with Hellfire Peninsula greens, you know? And if at any point I feel like that, like, I'll probably still play. Like I said, SOD was fun as a raid log simulator, and I would like a Forever Home vanilla game. And technically speaking, that's a way to make a Forever Home vanilla game. Is to just, like, condense the expansion structure down into the vanilla. Excuse me, the vanilla world at 60. I also think they need more dumb, stupid mini-games, because that's part of what makes RuneScape so fun for me. I vaguely remember these flames being difficult. But yeah, that's my take on Classic Plus, and I'm scared of what Blizzard's gonna do. I'm scared they're gonna come out and say we're just gonna release like SOD again, but instead of runes, they're just like baked in abilities, and once you get to Scarlet Enclave, we're just going to make more raid tiers, and it's just going to be raid tier after raid tier after raid tier. That's not fun. I know they learned from Incursions, and I think they've been listening, because if I know anything about Josh Greenfield, it's that he's very in touch with the fanbase. It's just that he's had Activision breathing down his neck the entire time. So if he can do what he wants to do, I'm sure it'll be a better experience than SOD, even though I think SOD was the best Warcraft experience I've ever had, honestly. Aside from hardcore, I guess. Like, the best Warcraft as a MMO experience I've ever had. Obviously, like, vanilla back in the day, even all the way through Cataclysm back in the day when I was a child, was fun. That would be a failure. Yeah. My aunt's going on a trip, and she texted me saying that she needs me and my other housemate to go upstairs and talk to her, but she just confirmed to me it's just stuff that I need to do while we're on a trip. So I will be taking a break when that clock says 4. It might be a 5-minute break, it might be a 15-minute break. I don't think it'll be very long after. So there will be a BRB screen just kind of up. It's a little dangerous, ain't it? I'll be fine. I need to get Runecloth banded. So there's a series of quests that you can do for experience where you turn in 60 of every cloth between wool and Runecloth. And on self-found, you can't just go to the auction house and buy those. So you need a total of 60 for each. So it's 6 times 4. You need 240 of each kind of cloth. And the only ones that I have left, obviously, are Runecloth. The problem is I need Runecloth bandages, and especially heavy Runecloth bandages, and I just, like, can't sync. Because I want those quests done for each, I say faction, what is it? Each reputation of the Alliance. I want those quests because it's actually a decent chunk of XP, and otherwise it's pretty much like free XP. You just kind of turn them in when you're in the city, and you get cloth anyway while you're out and about, so you don't have to actually grind for it. But that does mean that I'm going to be stuck with kind of shitty heavy mage weave bandages for a while. Which, as a warrior, that's especially bad. So I could, like, sit down and do a grinding session where I just grind on, like, I don't know, pirates. No, pirates wouldn't have it. Where can I get rune cloth relatively easy? Something level 55. Maybe... I can't do it on satyrs because people are grinding those for fell cloth, and I'm self-toned, so I can't sell that. Where do people grind rune cloth? I'm gonna guess... ogres in Burning Steps. No, but they're not 55. The quest for rune cloth is repeatable, but it doesn't give experience after the first time. So the quest for rune cloth is actually how you get reputation. And it takes a very long time, so I wouldn't recommend doing it. But like if I wanted to get a ram mount or a tiger mount, I can just keep turning in those rune cloth quests. But the wool, the silk, the mage weave, and the rune cloth first turn in. Everything else is not repeatable. Or the first 4 aren't repeatable, and then the rune cloth is, but those all give experience. And it's a pretty decent chunk, too. I would guess that if I somehow just, like, took the time to turn them all in, I'd probably get 2 full bubbles at where I am right now. Which is pretty good. Furbolgs and North Felwood, yeah. Or maybe Winter Spring ones, because I do need firewater. Just in general. If I was raiding, I would drop self-found after I hit 60. It might do that for you, in fact, I don't know. I've never hit 60, and I've never been self-found before. It's actually kind of funny that my first self-found warrior is the one that got the, like, 10 times further than all the others combined. Not literally, but... Probably an experience, literally, yeah. If we care about absolute experience values, but that's, like, a weird question. You don't really care about XP per hour in this game, right? You care about level per hour, and... I mean... I'm no, what do I have? I'm not exactly speedy right now. Oh, it's on top, fuck. No, I know I will have just either gotten a warrior to 60 or died, but the next character will probably be a Tauren warrior. Unless... I've been thinking about what I'll do in Classic Plus, and I'll probably want to play a Tauren warrior there too, so if I start a Classic hardcore warrior, you know, Tauren warrior, and then I find out literally a month and a half in that they're coming out with Classic Plus, and then I find out from there that it's coming out soon, like they did with Sod, and Sod was coming out like a month later, or even a couple weeks later, I don't remember. But like, if I if I get to October, and I'm only like a month and a half into my Tauren, and I find out that Classic Plus is coming out like 3 months later, I would feel kind of silly continuing to play that Tauren, but I would want to keep playing hardcore because I enjoy playing hardcore. So I've been thinking about either sticking with this character through level 60 and just kind of grinding whatever, selling things on the auction house, whatever. But then I'm kind of wasting my time on this server, if I'm being honest. I've also thought about, what if I just go and play Sod with, you know, the Sod people. But, like, I don't really want to do that either. I don't think Sod's gonna stay relevant for a long time, if I'm being honest. I think that that's just the next, like, fad server, like when this one was the Racelock server. And then I could just play like a human paladin or something, but that's kind of boring. I don't want to do Elwyn Forest again. I've done it like 12 times. I wanted to be a Night Elf Warrior because I like the sword animations when they have a two-headed sword. Which is just a really weird reason, but it works, you know? If you're gonna stare at a character for 60 levels, they might as well be entertaining to watch. And that's why I kind of want to play a Tauren Warrior again, because I love them. But orcs, okay. When I first made my rogue and sod, that kind of became my main. I didn't really want him to, but he kind of became my main towards the end. I was kind of laughing a lot at the idea of a canonically 7-foot-tall, green, like, absolutely yoked monster appearing from invisibility and just, like, smacking you upside the head, like, just cracking your skull open, and then just stabbing you 37 times in the chest before you fall dead. Like, that visual in my head is just so funny, and every time I, like, pop a stealth opener on someone on my orc rogue, like, it just feels good. There's something so satisfying about, like, what is it, kidney shot as the stealth opener that stuns? There's just something so satisfying about, like, kidney shot opening on an orc specifically, and so there's always that aesthetic I could go for. Oh, I need to open her chest for the bell. Oops. I could have said that in a different way, but I didn't. I need to open her chest. And there's the bell. Let's get going. Undead female? Yeah. I don't know if... I know in live they, like, jump around, like, a lot. They are, like, surprisingly the most, like, dexterous, agile class. They almost remind me of a Geist when an undead female rogue opens. This Laughing Skull Rogues, yeah. Can I... Let's go around this way. I think she's... I don't think she ever leaves, right? Oh, she does. Okay. What's the last flame? Imbil Essence. Where's that? I went the wrong way! No! Alright, get over here, Shay. Like, obviously there's nothing more iconic than an undead rogue opening on you, but, like, I still think an orc rogue just, like, aesthetically feels better. I giggle with glee when I consider the Hulk teleporting behind you out of invisibility, cracking you upside the head, and then performing surgery on your internal organs, you know? It's just fun. Shay. You know that video of Markiplier where he's trying to talk about SCP in the back rooms and he's dingle dangle, dingle dangle, jingle jangle. It's this fucking quest, man. Like, 1 for 1, that is this quest. That's so funny. I don't know if I can mount for this quest, and I don't want to, like, risk it. I'll be fine just running. Look, I'm just gonna take her to safety first, right? Oh. No, I'm not. Okay. I see why it's recommending this now. Jingle jangle. Oh, come on. Jingle jangle. That took you a long time, Shay. Can I get this without spawning anything? I vaguely remember there being some kind of enemy here, but it might have been in the Nightmare Incursion, because I did those way too much. Like, even if you solo them, they were the best way to level. And sod. Get your butt over here, lady. Okay. Go around this way, I think. I'm trying to remember why I started playing a human instead of a night elf, though. Obviously this one I had to, because it was for race lock, but I was playing a few humans that died. Technically my last one didn't die, because then I switched over to this server and I said, oh, I might, you know, not main this server. I might only, you know, kind of play this server on the side, and now I'm, you know, my main character is a level 53 human warrior. But it took me so long. The Race Lock Challenge, you know, was in its heyday when I was there, and now it's been dead for a while. It died about when I was 30. Let's say. When I hit level 30-ish is when it died. Which, like, it always sucks when a server dies, but I kind of expected it to, because it's the Race Lock Challenge. Not everybody really wants to do that for a long time. It's an arbitrary restriction. I mean, yeah, obviously the human racial is good, but it's only good at 60. Or at least at higher levels. Like, technically it's pretty good right now because the combats are longer against average enemies, so the more you miss, like, the percentage-wise, it scales. Or not percentage-wise, absolute time-wise, it scales. So, for example, if you miss, this isn't true, but mathematically, if you miss 20% of your hits at maximum weapon skill, you know, for me that's 300 and... No, 300... What is it? No, it's 270. I don't know why I'm saying 300. So for me, that's 270, and I have max weapon skill on swords, which is what I have. So if I was doing... Let's kill this. If I was in a combat and 20% of my attacks miss, right, then the combat, on average, every combat will be 20% longer, more or less. So if I'm playing a human warrior and I reduce that number to 15% or whatever, then in this case I guess it's 23, sure, but or 25, but let's just say 20 for simplicity. But if I'm a human warrior and it's, you know, down from 30 to 20, That means that, you know, the combat is, instead of 30% longer, it's 20% longer, I guess, since I actually see the numbers. The problem is that at early levels, that doesn't really matter. The combat is lasting 5 seconds maximum, and 5 seconds isn't a very long time. So if the combat is 5 seconds at its maximum, then reducing that by, you know, from 30 to 20%, I'm not doing that. If you reduce that from 30 to 20%, you'll probably only have like 4.8 seconds. That's not really much. Again, on average per combat over time. So the ratios for weapon skill only become important around the 50s because now your combat is not extended by 30%, it's extended by only 20%, and that could mean the difference of, you know, 5 seconds per combat. And when you're taking 45 seconds to kill something, that 5 seconds can really matter. I don't know if, you know, that math doesn't manage, but you get what I mean. If the hit chance increases your, like, if the lower hit chance increases your combat length by a percentage amount, that percentage matters when the combats are naturally longer, because combats at higher levels just naturally last longer. And then, of course, it's vitally important at 60 because all raid bosses are coded to be, I think, level 65. Don't quote me on that, but they're quoted to be a level above 60. In fact, it might even be 63 since I'm looking at this level plus 3 thing. And so in that case, you know, you want to attack Nefarian, but he's a level 63 enemy. You're going to miss a lot, and you're going to get a lot of glancing blows, which doesn't happen as much, and you're actually able to do damage to the boss. And so that's why it's relevant. I don't want to swim across, man. I know it has fatigue zone. Is it 63? Yeah. Okay. So I'm explaining a concept you seem to be familiar in. I'm sorry. I like nerding out about stupid shit. Granted, I'm pretty sure most people do. Everybody has some stupid shit that they just love nerding out about. Is this where you swim across? Or is it up here? There's a spot that you can swim across where you just barely hit the fatigue zone. I'm just gonna run up this way. What I don't like about this beach is that it reminds me too much of, like, it's almost a one-to-one to Ashenvale, up to and including that weird, like, path up. Like, this whole section was copy-pasted for where we are right now. That whole section of, like, Zorm's Strand and then, like, the path from Maestra's Post, it was copy-pasted down here. Yeah, attempt to min-max and... yeah. I do something similar. I only do delves in retail, and I try to at least get the tier set, because I know I'm not going to go back and try to get the tier set later. So I at least try to get, like, the heroic tier set from my, from my Great Vault and the Catalyst. And then I found out I don't necessarily need, like, to do current content to get the tier set. I can do it a patch later, and the Catalyst is free for those, so might as well. And then I'll try to do Mythic occasionally if other people want me to, but I really only do delves. But I also only really do delves because I'm a Blood Death Knight in retail, and, like, come on. Playing Blood Death Knight is easy mode for delves. Yeah, the Catalyst really is goated. So I have about 15 minutes until I have to go upstairs and talk to my aunt. I live with my aunt because I'm going to college in a different state, and she already lived in that different state. And she will be mole person, yeah. And she will be going on a trip this week, so like I said, I have to go and figure out what needs to be done extra that I don't normally do. No, not that. That goes there. You're a blood to hell yeah. I mean, in Delves, they're like easy mode, more so than any other tank because they have healing, you know?
Safe travels. What can I do for you?
What? Turn in the Morrow Stone. Is it upstairs? No.
What brings you here?
Why does it tell me to go here? Oh. Buy ammo if needed. It is in fact needed. Okay, I normally don't use guides, but I do kind of just want to get to 60 and be done. But like, man, it's bugged sometimes, I swear. That wasn't a bug, that was just a quirk, but it is bugged sometimes.
Can I assist you? Goodbye.
I have finally replaced a ring from 10 million years ago. So, no matter what, I do need to pop over to Booty Bay. Turn in some stuff. I'm gonna give us a break for this flight point anyway, so I can like go use the restroom and grab a drink and stuff, so I'll be RB. I'm back. Thank you. Yeah, good talks. I'm glad somebody that knows Warcraft showed up for once. Nothing against everyone else, obviously, but it's been a couple months where most people kind of don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about it. I need to drop into Theramore and get rune cloth bandages.
Hey there. See you later.
There we go. It's raining. I love it when it rains. Why did I walk out this way?
Pregio me.
Hmm.
I got the best deals anywhere. Hurry back. What's up? Keep it real. Yo. Glad I could help. Yo.
Okay. After I land, I'm going to take a break, figure out what's going on with the yard, and I'll be back afterwards. The person that I was supposed to do stuff with tonight just hasn't responded yet, so might not be doing anything, which is chill. Okay. I know he's not in a safe spot, so actually I'm just going to walk up here to the Bowier. Repair items. I didn't iron. Okay. My mistake. Apparently I need Noggin Fogger later, and I don't know why. Okay. We are going to take that break. I'll be back. Yeah, okay. Hi, we're back. Hi. Okay. Let's go on a trip. We're going on a trip. Cool. Ah. My arms are itchy. I think that literally comes from being outside. I'm gonna turn my I need to figure out when this friend wants to meet up, and then meet up. And dun, dun, dun. Not a requirement, but I would like to know when so that I can stop what I'm doing and go shower and stuff. I know that implies that I haven't I showered today. I've only been outside for about 5 minutes, but it was very humid, so I'm all sticky. But I don't smell, at least. Yeah, I don't smell. I hope I don't smell. That would be embarrassing if I did. Even though none of you can smell through a screen. Anyway. Wait, I'll be back to Ratchet eventually.
Interesting.
Hold on. Okay. Oops. Okay, hold on. Ow!
Hey, I'm glad I could help.
That'll kind of be useful, I guess. I'm running out of space on my action bars, though. Here. I can remove it later. Sorry, I'm listening to a funny video. It's very funny. friends in Japan are waking up. I guess that means it's, what, 8 a.m. over there? Something like that. How's my connection going? Still no dropped frames. It's looking good. Looking good. Basically this, but Japan.
Time is money, friend.
Interesting. Make your way to the southern tip of Ashara, follow the arrow. And then... slow fall buff. I didn't know that was a thing. You could also swim down, you know. But whatever. If I don't get the slow fall buff, I'm gonna run around. Isn't there a hunter quest that goes to a guy around here? Like a UBRS quest? Well, if this, for some reason, aggro's on me and kills me, that'd be funny. I just want to talk to it. My watch is Eternal Mortal. Okay, that was it. My watch is something. I guess I just filled in the Eternal part. Okay, now I need to pay a bit of attention. Not a lot, just a bit. Oh wow, that was immediate. I just thought it's funny that I sent the exact same thing you did. Okay. Now I wait.
You got my attention.
I'm gonna go to Booty Bay first, and then we can come back. Can I see a picture of the shirt? He got me a shirt in Japan, but he didn't take a picture. I like when he says for the Alliance, but he's a neutral character. He says that to the Horde too, it's always funny. I understand why you're not going to make it individual voice lines or change the voice lines for neutral characters. But it is funny. King's Honor Friend. This guy's supposed to be neutral, you know? Not Alliance.
Need help? Well met. I can with you. What can I do for you? Get something? Kind of busy. Quit it. What's your problem? You're getting on my nerves. Greetings. What can I do for you?
I love it when they do that. Hold on, let's do it here.
Yeah, what do you want? Yo, hey, yeah. Interesting. Time is money, friend. All right, move along now. Yeah, very funny. Ugh, I don't have time for this. Amateur. Yo, yeah, what do you want?
Always one of my favorite parts of Warcraft. I think they dialed back on that in later expansions, and that pisses me off.
Time is money, friend. Hey, yeah. Yeah, what do you want? All right, move along now. Time is money. Yeah, what do you want? Time is money, friend.
Time is money, friend. Hey, how you doing? What up? Yo, hey, how you doing? Yeah, very funny. I got a long day, kid. Wait, you knock it off? Amateur. Time is money, friend. What up?
BRB. I am back. Am I? Yeah, I am.
Time is money, friend. How are you?
Ow. Okay. So I'm considering stopping for the evening, because I do have people asking me to do stuff.
What can I do for you?
Hello. Have a good one.
I don't know. Because I want to go back to practicing League at least a little bit, and then, I don't know, maybe go watch a movie for the evening, if the friend doesn't get back to me.
Pleased to meet you.
My quest log is full, lady. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. Because my quest log is full, right? It's full of... Okay. So because my quest log is full of Zul'Farrak quests, what I'm going to do is hope that Mr. Path is going to do Zul'Farrak tomorrow. If he doesn't, I will abandon all the quests and continue my road to 60. And I say tomorrow, before whenever he leaves. Which I don't know when that will be. So,
Talk to me.
I'll simply do this. Chuck's school's gone off. Okay, so he didn't quit the guild or anything. And I would like to get some more practice. I think I'm going to do that off stream, though. I don't know. Should I do it on stream? I still want to see what friend guy is doing. Yeah, I'll just move over right now. I'll see you guys later. In 5 minutes.